Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a little autumn inspired makeup tutorial using this Redhead Revolution eyeshadow palette. This is a palette that I have been testing out for a few weeks now. Sorry, the mirror is going to be annoying. So this is an eyeshadow palette that I have been testing out for a few weeks now, and I used it on holiday to do this really gorgeous kind of bronzy smoky eye that I thought when I was wearing it, I was like, this is perfect for autumn. So I thought I would do that on camera today and just show you how I like to use this palette. I do have a couple of other kind of newer products to me that I'm going to also test out, a couple of mascaras I want to talk about, and a face palette from Pixi. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I hope that you guys enjoy. So I have already put foundation and concealer on, so that is done. I will leave all of the products that I use listed in the description box, including those ones that I don't use on camera. But just to kind of talk about this palette a little bit first off. So this is from the brand Redhead Revolution. This was sent to me in PR. The reason that I wanted to use this one on camera, because they did also send me the one in Carrier Torch, which is like way more bronzy. You can see like this has a lot more autumn vibes, and I do really love this as well. I've used this a few times too, but I just feel like this one is a little bit more versatile, because you've got this like gorgeous gold shade which is really warm and bronzy, and you can create a really beautiful warm toned look with it. But then you've also got these lighter kind of more everyday shades, which are kind of they're more sort of pink toned, but they're also super wearable. Like one's kind of a bit more champagne-y, and then you have a matte crease shade here and a kind of, well, I use it as like a blending brow bone shade, but it does have a little bit of shimmer in it. So I do just think that you can get more different types of looks out of this palette. So this is why I wanted to specifically talk about this one today. Redhead Revolution is obviously a brand that is specifically set up to cater for redheads, which is great because I do feel like there are a few of these brands around, but I've never tried one that I've liked. I was very kind of on the fence about this when I received it. When a product says that it's for redheads, in my experience, the product is either way too like red toned, if it's like a brow product for example. It just makes your brows look orange or something like that, or it just doesn't have the pigment that I've wanted when I have used products that are supposed to be from brands for redheads in the past. So yeah, I haven't had brilliant experiences, but then when I got these, I was very pleasantly surprised on swatching, and they've actually worked their way into my everyday makeup routine. So I have been really impressed with the brand. It is a US brand, but I have been told by the owner of the brand that they will be having a UK based warehouse, so that you can like bypass the customs fees and all of that. I'm not sure when that will be happening. That's kind of the situation. If you do want to buy products from them, I will try and find out details and leave them in the description box if I can. So this product is $36. You get 10 grams of eyeshadow in the whole palette, so that works out about $3.60 per shadow, which is not the most affordable, but it's also definitely not the most expensive in terms of money per gram, like cost per gram. I would say it's completely comparable to any high-end eyeshadow I have tried, so I do think it is worth that price point. Obviously you guys can decide for yourself. I also like that you don't get as many shades in here, because it makes it easier to just do a really quick and simple eyeshadow look. I find big palettes now can, well, they always have, but I never really thought about it very much before, but they are kind of overwhelming, and most of the shades I don't use, whereas I think I have used every single shade in this palette so far. So I just find smaller palettes are better value, and I'm way more likely to get more use out of them and get closer to using them up, you know? Okay, I just added a little bit of artificial lighting just so you can see everything clearly. But yes, as I say, I am going to do the look that I did on holiday that I really enjoyed. So first of all, I'm just going to take this shade here. They don't have shade names, but this matte crease shade. This is a little bit cool toned for my preferences. I don't mind it, but I did take a little bit of bronzer when I did this look before, so I may do that again, just because with the gold eyeshadow that we're going to use, I feel like it just needs to be, for my like skin tone and colouring and everything, I feel like it just needs to be a touch warmer. But I do get why they put this more cool toned blending shade in here, just because I think that works better with these other 3 shades, so I do get that. So I'm gonna take the same bronzer that I used on holiday. This is Coco Cutie from BH Cosmetics, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that on top of where we put that crease shade. Still being super non-precise. Okay, so then I took a little bit of this gold, beautiful gold shade here, and I first of all laid it down with a flat shader brush, and then I pressed my finger on top of it just to amp up the pigmentation and the payoff a little bit. I don't really find that I get fallout on my face using this palette, but I do find that it gets quite kind of dusty and crumbly in the pan. I mean, I personally don't mind that because I only really care about what it looks like on the eye, but I haven't found that that comes across, like I don't get fallout underneath or anything. So you can really see that when I press it on with my finger, that gold bronzy shade just pops so much more. So then I'm just going to go in and blend again, roughly in the crease with some of this shadow. The only thing about this palette is it doesn't really have a deeper shade. So I think before I did take just the darkest shade from my Charlotte Tilbury palette of Pops, just right on the outer V there. Oh my god, the lighting. Okay, it's just gone really dark outside. Hold on. So yes, I did take my palette of Pops, the deepest shade, just to darken it up. I don't know if I'm going to do that today. So then I'm just taking this lightest shade and I'm just blending out on my brow bone just to kind of neaten it all up. The middle shade I took on my finger and I'm just going to press that right in the center, just to add a very subtle kind of pop of like champagne shimmer. Just kind of draws your attention to the eye a little bit more. And then I'm just going to add a little more of that gold to the inner corner there. And that is honestly it. That is like the whole eyeshadow look. Super simple. I'm gonna try and sort out my lighting so it's a little bit more even and then we will come back and do the rest. Okay, so I think we're a little bit better lighting wise now. The next thing I'm gonna go in with is the Pixi. They sent me this in PR as well. This is the Nuance Quartette in Honey Nectar. So it is just a little face palette. So you have a bronzer, a blush, and then 2 highlight shades. One is more pinky and one is more golden. So I'm just gonna play around with it. If you've watched my videos in the past, I don't love face palettes. I don't think, they're just not something that I ever remember to reach for. So I have decluttered like pretty much all my face palettes. Pixi seems to send a lot of face palettes in PR. I think this is maybe like the 3rd or 4th that I've received this year. I mean, I didn't think there was loads of demand for face palettes anymore. I feel like they kind of had their moment like 2-3 years ago, but I'm gonna try this one out anyway because I was just curious to see what the shades were like. They do look quite different to kind of normal tones I would go for my face. So this is the bronzer, and this is in the shade Syrup. This is the first time I'm trying this out, so it's going to be a first impressions, which I don't love doing first impressions because I don't think they're that helpful, but I really have to use a product several times before I know my full thoughts on it. But first impressions are that it's a really nice powder. It went on very smoothly. It didn't skip or kind of, you know, get muddy or anything, like mess up my foundation underneath. It's definitely more cool toned than I normally would use for a bronzer, so I would say that this is more of a contour shade for my skin tone, but I like it. I'm going to just warm up my face a little bit using this same bronzer that we went in with earlier, and I'm going to really wipe it off on my hand because it's very pigmented and a little bit too dark for my skin tone, so I have to be careful with this one. But this is this Coco Cutie BH Cosmetics one. So that kind of warmed up my skin nicely, and then I'm going to go in with this blush shade, and this is in the shade Honey. Wait, no, Nectar, sorry. This is in the shade Nectar. I will say these palettes feel nicer than the other face palettes I've received from Pixi. They definitely feel very high-end. Like you get a nice big mirror in here. It would be good for travel if you do like all of the shades in here and you typically like reaching for face palettes. I think this would be a good quality palette to pick up. Just in terms of packaging and stuff, it's not gonna break easily. I will say this blush shade is very powdery. Like it has kicked up a lot of powder and it doesn't look like there's a ton of, it's just very, very, very dusty. Like all of the product is like coming off onto my table. So we're gonna see how this goes. I did have to go back in a few times to like load up my brush. I don't mind it not being pigmented on the face because I prefer to build up a blush anyway, but I do want it to be buildable. I do actually like that shade quite a lot. I think I did a little bit too much on my nose. I'm gonna use a little bit of the pinky toned one because I think the gold one is just gonna be a tiny bit too gold for my skin tone. Dark for my skin tone, I should say. So I'm gonna try the pink one and see how that goes. Again, it's a little bit hard to get any product on the brush. Oh wow, okay, that is not coming off pink at all. So yeah, in the pan it looks very pink, as you can see. This is the one that I dipped into, but I feel like on my face all you can see is gold. Okay, not my favorite, I will say. The consistency was a bit too powdery for me, and just the shade selection for my skin tone. Let's try and use a little bit of the gold as well, just to see how they layer. Yeah, it is coming off a little bit more gold than the pink, but honestly, not much. So yes, I don't know how I feel about that. So let's go in with mascara. I did get sent this, actually both of these products are also PR. So the Redhead Revolution mascara is a brown mascara. I did speak about this in my most recent favorites. I have never used a brown mascara that I liked until I used this one. Again, kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier, but I will show you. This is in the shade Genuine Ginger. They have a couple of different shades depending on the undertone of your hair. They have a more reddy aubany one as well. Okay, I'm back. I had to charge my camera. This filming day is not going as planned. I had to change my lighting, had to change my camera battery. It's probably gonna run out again very soon, so yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. When I was charging my battery, I did go downstairs just to have a look at my makeup in natural lighting. And yeah, I'm really not the biggest fan of this. I like the blush. Contour is okay, but I really only ever use bronzer, so I wouldn't get much use out of it. And the highlight, I'm just not a fan of. It's just not the most flattering shade for my skin tone. So if you do prefer more goldy highlights, if you're a slightly darker skin tone than me, I think you might get more use out of it. But yeah, the only shade that I would really use out of it is the blush. So those are my thoughts on that. And I did also I wasn't happy with how my eyes looked, so I did just press a little bit more of this bronze shade on top in the center, just to kind of make it show up a bit more, because I don't know, you know, sometimes you just have a bad makeup day. Like, I did this exact look before and it looked great, but just something wasn't working. So I put some more gold on, and yeah, what I was showing you before my battery died was the Redhead Revolution mascara. So I have put it on one eye just so you can see the difference. So hopefully you can see that it just adds some really subtle definition. This is not typically the mascara that I would wear with this kind of eye look, but definitely for a quick everyday makeup look, I've been getting so much use out of this. It just gives enough definition to look like you're wearing something on your eyelashes, but it doesn't look like you're wearing mascara. It looks like it could be your natural lashes, but it adds a little bit of volume and just something to like frame the face, you know? So I've really been enjoying this. So I'm going to use this on the other eye just so it evens out, and then I'm going to apply the other mascara, the black mascara that I've been loving lately as well. So that is the brown mascara all applied. I normally wouldn't layer anything on top of this, but just because I wanted to show you both today, and I figure because they are different types of mascara, I could. So this is the Pixi Large Lash Mascara. Again, I was sent this in PR. I love this mascara. So I have been using this for about 2-3 weeks now, I think, and it's one of my new favorite mascaras. Like, I think it's probably the best mascara other than the e.l.f. mascara that I've tried this year. I really love the Charlotte Tilbury mascara, but it just wasn't everything I wanted in a mascara. And when you're paying high-end money for a mascara, I think it should not smudge. And the Charlotte Tilbury one did smudge. This one does not smudge. Sorry. And it stays put. It doesn't smudge under my eyes or anything like that, and it gives a really nice amount of both volume and length. So I've really been enjoying wearing this the past few weeks. It's obviously not going to be as affordable as the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara, which I also love, but it's not as expensive as the Charlotte Tilbury one either. So I haven't used this on camera yet because I thought it was honestly going to be a little bit lighter when I ordered it. I got this a couple of months ago, but this is the Uoma Beauty lipstick in the shade Maya or Maya. It's more of like a full toned mauve lipstick. So I was saving it for autumn, and I feel like this is a good time to use it on camera. So I'm first going to line my lips with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. And then this lipstick is a matte lipstick, and it definitely feels matte. So I am not the biggest fan of matte lipsticks, as you know, but it is kind of moisturizing going on, but it definitely dries down and it doesn't really transfer either, but it doesn't feel super drying, like not anything like a liquid lipstick or anything like that. So I do like that about it, and it's very easy to swipe on. It doesn't like tug on your lips or anything, but it is very pigmented. And because it's a little bit of a darker shade for me, I just have to be a bit careful on how I apply it. It's almost like a cream to powder formula. Like when you swipe it on, it's very creamy, but then it dries down and feels quite powdery on your lips. It's a nude, but it kind of has kind of vampy undertones to it, which I do really like. It's not something that I will be wearing a lot of because of masks and all of that. But if you were going out for dinner in the evening, I think this would be a really beautiful lipstick. I definitely recommend it. The packaging feels so weighty. It's a magnetic closure. It definitely feels like a more luxe lipstick if you are in the market for a nice lipstick. They do have a shade also that is designed for paler skin tones as well. I can't remember the name of the shade, but I definitely want to get that because that looks really nice too. So just for today, because I am wearing this in the day, I think I'm going to add a little bit of gloss. I'm going to add some of the Makeup Revolution Shimmer Bomb in the shade Lightbeam, just to add a little bit of a softer finish. So this is the finished look. It is definitely giving me autumn vibes. I actually really like the combination of the gloss with that. It just kind of softens up the lip look a little bit, and I don't know. Ooh, I quite like it, especially for autumn. I think it's a really nice combo. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know what autumn makeup products you are loving in the comments. I would love to see, and also let me know if there's any specific redheady autumn videos that you would like to see, and I will try and get those filmed for you. I know that this is kind of like our season color wise, so don't forget to like and subscribe if you do want to see more from me. I really appreciate this support, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.